Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to your postgame show for the National League Championship Series Game 4 between the New York Mets, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I am very fortunate, as always, to be joined by America's favorite Mets fan, the very lovely and talented Mr. David Greenspan. David, I think we all understand if you would like to just not talk about tonight's game, completely okay. It was not the best game that the Mets have played in this postseason. They've played some doozies, and this was not a doozy; it was a dozy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. It was kind of like the start of my softball game yesterday.
Yeah.
Like from the get, the other team. Well, no, not in this game, but from the get, that other team was just better than us. Like it didn't matter if we scratched across a few hits or something.
Sure.
Like we were never gonna win, and
Right.
that's sort of what it felt like. As soon as Betts hit that double,
Yeah.
that was it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like when it was, when they went up 3-1, I thought, oh, we can come back. We get still early. And then right when that happened, I was like, you know what? Like there's certain Dodger superstars on this lineup that haven't even shown up yet. And like the Dodgers are built to win multiple championships right now. And the Mets are just starting out. Like this is a transitional year.
Sure.
I feel like the Dodgers probably beat the best team they're going to face already, which is the Padres.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mets, like I said from the beginning, just happy to be here. I got a little fooled by the game that I went to with Sean and I, but like the Dodgers are just a juggernaut. They are. But look, Yamamoto, who was injured half the year. He was like, you were worried about the starters. You were worried like if you had enough starters. Flaherty, Buehler, now Yamamoto. They're all legit, and I think they're going to destroy the Yankees if that's who they play.
Well, it was interesting hearing the and this is way cart before the horse. Way cart before the horse. The team talking tonight on the broadcast towards the end about if both series just go 5, they actually move up the start of the World Series.
Oh,
which is interesting because normally there's a long layoff between if one of the championship series ends early and then the other one goes longer. So if you're a Dodger fan, I think you're definitely rooting for the Guardians to extend that series as long as possible or win it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that game in a bit. Did you see that game today?
I didn't see that game. That's a much more dramatic, exciting game.
My goodness!
Was it
many
back and forth?
Yeah, many people are calling it the game of the year. It was definitely watch the condensed game version on the MLB app or wherever you get your baseball highlights. Watch the full 15-minute highlight thing, and you'll go on a journey. It was pretty amazing. And I had the double screen roll in here. It had picture in picture with the Dodgers game in one, and then the end of the Yankees Guardians game in the other. And boy, it's just crazy. Crazy game. I mean, the Guardians were 1 strike away from being down 3-0. That was it.
That's the kind of thing that can
with nobody on base.
Yeah.
Down 2 runs, nobody on base,
they
1 strike away.
2024 Mets playoff move.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, it's great. I mean, that your friend Amy, I hope she was watching that game because that's what we were all hoping for.
Yes, I believe she definitely was. I believe her comment was, your post-game show tonight should be all about that game. Well,
I'm sorry I didn't watch it.
She's not wrong.
I was just thinking, you know what? Like as the Mets, as it was clear that the Mets were just getting outclassed, I was like, well, this will be good. I'll have more time to focus on my work.
Wait a minute. Now let's take a moment here. As the great late Tug McGraw once said, you gotta believe, right?
Yes.
And so
well, do we have to believe, or do the players have to believe?
Well, it would help if they believed also,
because they didn't. I mean, I don't blame them for not believing.
Now, is it true that your wife is making you stay in what we refer to as a closet of shame right now? I can't really tell. Is that
I chose this location? This is where I work. This is my cloffice.
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little workspace / safe space.
Yes. quiet in here, and I can cry into the laundry.
Is the bad Mookie still getting hits? I don't want any more hits from the bad Mookie.
There's too many.
The bad
Remember when
Shohei.
he made that? Remember when he made that quote at the beginning of the year, and everybody was like, "Oh, what an arrogant bastard!" When he said, "Every team playing us is going to be their World Series." Well,
Yeah.
he was right. He
Well,
was right. I mean, that's what happens when you land $1 billion worth of Japanese talent at the beginning of the season when you're already carrying 2 MVPs. I mean, it's
yeah. Well, and this was something I wanted to maybe even bring up last night. We were talking a little bit about the Dodgers. Ohtani definitely helped them land Yamamoto.
oh yeah,
Now, let's say this team does go to the World Series. It seems not unreasonable to assume that they could. Nothing is over till it's over. We'll see what happens. But they're definitely going to at least go minimum 7 games in this series.
oh yeah.
Or a maximum of 7. I mean, they could, the Mets could extend it easily with a home win tomorrow, no problem. Back to LA. What happens in Game 6? Nobody knows. I mean, you can only win one at a time, but there's definitely a path for a team that believes. And you cannot, I saw Lindor taking some really bad at bats tonight. I don't know what was going on there. Pete Alonso maybe has one more spurt of Pete Alonso-ness, Alonso-ishness left in him. I still, I don't count anything out.
No, of course, and you don't want to get cocky. You don't want to jinx
Right.
your team. You don't want to do anything like that.
No.
But based on what we've seen, the logical conclusion is that the Dodgers are way better in every.
The offense seems like it's clicking enough that they've been able to withstand the loss of like Freddie Freeman and Gavin Lux, and some of their starters are even down. But the back, like your Tommy Edmonds, are batting cleanup now. It's craziness.
Yeah. Max Muncy hasn't gotten out in forever, and but there's
12 times in a row. Yeah.
Like they're even if they load the bases, the Mets you can bring in pitchers that you haven't even shown yet, and they will shut it down, and they'll play defense. They'll make the plays. You get the sense that some of these Mets are like Iglesias and even Vientos, who's great. Mm-hmm. The moment's too big for them. And anyway, I'm not blaming them. They are being beaten by a better team.
I think Vientos has held up pretty well.
Sure.
I think he's still competing hard, but I don't know with some of the other, and obviously with Nimmo's bum foot, that doesn't help when you can't score on a sacrifice fly. That that overlooked, but it was definitely still in reach then. And his inability to get home on what was a medium depth fly ball. I mean, Pajes has a good arm, but the fact that they didn't want to risk it, given, on the other hand, he had just beaten out a double play, right? Or was that, do I have the sequence wrong? He may have beaten out the double play before.
Oh, that was earlier. Yeah.
Or, I don't know. But he was obviously able to have a burst of speed when he needed it. And so I would have sent him definitely, because you got to, again, urgency.
You got to start
there didn't seem, like the urgency was missing. And just to finish this one thought, I've tried for 2 shows to get out. Ohtani, Yamamoto, is there going to be a pipeline now? Are the best Japanese stars going to want to come to play with the best Japanese players in the U.S.? And does that give the Dodgers an edge in recruiting, much as Ohtani gave them an edge in the Yamamoto sweepstakes?
I mean, my only question is, are the Dodgers funds unlimited? Because
yes,
if they are, then yes. Because who wouldn't want to go play with Shohei? I mean, you got Shota Imanaga on the Cubs. You got Kodai Senga on the Mets.
Yep.
They might have some. I mean, maybe Yamamoto and Shohei were buds. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, why not? Well, who wouldn't want to go to the Dodgers and win a World Series? Although, does it get, if it becomes like the NBA where there's like super teams?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. It would be really interesting to see. Amy did find the show finally. I know she was having a hard time tracking it down, but her comments,
game of the playoffs,
game of the year, maybe in the history of the playoffs. I'm not gonna go that far. The Kirk Gibson game is still, had much more stakes. This was this is game 3 of an ALCS, so I can't put it up into the top tier of your like Bill Mazeroski's or your, whatever your biggest dramatic.
She has recency bias, and everybody is biased towards their own team. Like the '86 Mets had a couple of nice games. One against Game 6 against Houston, and Game 6 against Boston.
And this is one of those things you hate to see. A very limited path for the Mets. She says the magic is gone. Is the magic gone?
The magic is being smothered by a
Yeah.
giant bear. I
You
feel like.
you tell me there's anything sadder in the world than Grimace hitting the Modelo tonight. I mean, oh my God, that was boy. The montages tonight were really something. The montages of sad Mets fans. The poor guy, the one kid looked like he literally, and kid, he was in his 20s, did look like he was in tears, like
Yeah.
just covering his face with the thing. I was very very sad.
I would have been like
It
that
sucks when you've
30
had
years
such a great
ago.
year,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it's so much excitement, but.
people forget that it's.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still early in the new era of the Mets. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to build something like the Dodgers have there.
Well,
And it's a few years. It's a few years away. We just
Sure.
acquired a bunch of good prospects.
Yep.
And it's gonna take a little while.
Dodgers don't need Freddie, says Amy. We do need Freddie. That's when we put the 3 MVPs up top. That's what gives us our special spark. With 2 MVPs, we can do it. With 3, it's
No,
really.
you can. No. She's right. I totally.
I don't need is a very strong thing to say about Freddie Freeman.
You just won 10-2 against like a
One-
solid team with
One game.
without Freddie.
Yeah. And of course, Phillies have unlimited funds. They'll land Soto, if not any Japanese superstars.
Yeah, I also
Maybe.
don't think there's a total pipeline. Like, because
Yeah.
there's also like, do you really want to like be the third wheel to Otani and Yamamoto? Like
If you're getting rings, baby.
maybe.
Because that leads to the endorsement deals and the home country celebrity, and you become part of this. I think at least my impression of how it goes is obviously we think Otani's a superstar, but we have no idea what it's like in Japan. Where he's Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
by all accounts. So
right.
if you had a chance to become like Taylor Swift's best friend. Yeah, that seems like something that a Japanese player who is interested in having a full career of both on-field excellence and off-field promotional opportunities. I don't know. I think
I like to think people's egos are big enough where they want to like make it.
Oh, they want to be the man
too. They want to be the man. If you're coming over from, also you don't need an endorsement deal if you're going to move from the Japanese baseball league to the major leagues. You're already fine on endorsement.
You probably are. The Toronto Blue Jays are available for to receive any Japanese superstars who want to still keep it international. And come. When you talk about the Mets in the future, and I think given tonight's game, we don't really have to go over much of the play-by-play. It was not super exciting. But in terms of the future, I think one of the big things that got cleared up for the Mets recently was ownership.
Yeah.
And that has made a world of difference. When you talk about franchise mismanagement and things, they legendarily had some real issues from ownership, and it looks like that has definitely been cleared up.
Legendarily bad owners, and now we have a very savvy owner who is a diehard Mets fan and loaded. And we also just got this guy David Stern, a lifelong Mets fan, who's a GM who built the Brewers team with nothing.
Right.
So and I think Carlos Mendoza is a great manager for New York, especially. I feel I'm trying after a game like tonight. I'm just gonna think about the future, and I think that with those 3 people at the top, we have a good foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, tomorrow, it's an afternoon game, I guess, in New York, like a 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. Are there going to be like Dodger Stadium legendarily has that 5 o'clock sun line that goes right through the pitchers thing? Do they have sun issues at all during sundown at Chase Field?
I wish, Colin, as I'm your Mets, right? I'm your Citi Field.
Citi Field. Sorry, I got my
I'm your Mets fan expert. I don't know. I've only been to Citi Field one time in 2012.
Cat's here.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna finish this and I'll be there.
We got to put kids to bed. That's what happens.
No.
This time of night.
We're welcoming guests from out of town.
Oh, that's very lovely. Well,
from New York.
Throw them. Oh well, they're fleeing the city.
They know it's over.
The Joe Davis on the broadcast tonight said at one time, and you're starting to smell it here in New York. And I was like, what is it? in this circumstance. The Mets bullpen. What are we starting to
It's like
smell?
Grimace taking a dump in his pants.
Yeah, exactly. And Amy with again a very good point here. The Mets collapse is bad for baseball. Come on, NY, make a run. Yeah.
Is it bad for baseball?
I think an exciting
I mean, it's
six-game
bad. It's
series.
definitely bad for this
Yeah.
series. Yes, it is bad
Oh,
for fans of baseball everywhere who want to see a competitive game. That was
yeah.
non-competitive.
It was not mentioned at all or replayed on the broadcast tonight. Did you catch anything about the Kike Hernandez catcher's interference on the Edmund steal? You
No.
know, Edmund had stolen second, but then was called out on Kike interfering with the catcher in some way, but it didn't look, and they never went back and replayed it. It was just kind of like, oh, and the inning's over. Okay, commercial break. And when they came back,
It's like,
they were on to something else.
this is irrelevant. This game, this is going to.
Well, no, but this was still when it was
Oh,
semi-competitive.
really? Yeah.
So I always hate when there's like a rules controversy that they don't follow up on. It's
Yeah.
like, well, show me, give me the top down on Kike and show how he stepped over the plate or what he did to interfere. But it didn't look like he did hardly but anything. I'll
I'm
be
sure
interested.
you'll find it somewhere on Twitter.
Twitter or closecallsports.com, one of my favorite umpiring websites. They do and they've got a great YouTube channel. I'll plug them too. Their YouTube channel.
Great.
They do an analysis of every single ejection in the big leagues. They show a little clip of what led up to it, why the person was ejected. So this is an ejection for, not stopping arguing, or this is an ejection for you're not allowed to leave the dugout to talk about whatever. So,
I'm going to do a deep dive on Edwin getting thrown out for the sticky stuff at Dodgers Stadium.
If you ever see an ejection and you want to watch a behind the scenes on what was going on, closecallsports.com.
Closecallsports.com.
Thank
you. This is so informative.
Yeah,
I heard about Tunity. Was that what is it that your sister was talking about yesterday? The app where you can tune into the to the TV with the
right. No, I don't remember what that one is called.
That was fascinating. I was like, do you need like a subscription to the TV service that they're showing?
Yeah.
Like, do you need FS1 as be a subscriber of Spectrum in order to be able to hear it in the bar too?
Right. We were at I've seen it like one place, and I think they had it over at the pub in our neighborhood for just a little bit. And I don't know if it's like a thing between the company and the restaurant or bar or whatever. But yeah, it seemed like a good idea. I can't, I can barely get the audio and video to sync up on an Apple TV half the time, on things. So I couldn't imagine that the app version would work. Mm-hmm. But if it had some dial or something where I'm a second ahead or 2 seconds ahead.
That's I mean, I was trying to watch the Mets game with the Howie Rose radio feed, and I had to keep pausing, and I was doing the sync myself with the app, because I can control it.
Right. Yeah.
Have you had problems with MLB TV radio app, not picking up the feed a lot?
Sometimes, yeah. There's been a couple of games I went to go listen to a key moment or something. I wanted to hear how the home team announcers called it or something, and all I heard was the national broadcast during the playoffs, at least this year.
But I have it all year long. I'll sometimes it won't load. I won't hear it, and I have to I reset my phone or something. I don't know what the thing is, and we're paying for it, and it's a little frustrating.
Yeah. No, I still think the ability for us to mix and match our own video and audio feeds should be a lot easier than it currently is. Because I would love to, especially when there's bad announcers or whatever, just having that flexibility to pop over to a local broadcast or something would be
so much better. That's a big thing in Mets land, is that we love our announcers and we cannot stand John Smoltz or anybody, especially when we're losing. But our announcers are better than the national announcers. There's no question.
I'm gonna look now. Tell me, who are the Mets TV announcers and what are they doing for the playoffs?
Well, there's Gary Cohen.
He's
the main guy, and then Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling.
Right. And so Keith we see, right?
Well, In the playoffs, I think you only see.
I'm sorry, Ron.
Yeah,
we see
you
Ron
only get
on the
Darling,
American
yeah.
League, right?
Yeah, he'll do those games, and he's great. Like they're so good. Like Gary gets so excited, and Keith and Ron give real analysis, and they're joking,
Yeah.
and they have this wonderful thing. And I like listening to the Dodger broadcast. Have you listened to the Yankee broadcast?
The Yankee broadcast.
The radio broadcast. It's like I don't want to throw shade, but I can't believe the Yankee fans can listen to that.
Yeah.
It just seems like people in an old folks home who really don't know what's happening in the game.
Well, the Yankee broadcast it's tradition. I think is what it is, right? Tradition.
I guess they just yeah. Okay.
Maybe. Who knows? Here, I'm going to try to screen share something. Well, let me see if this works. Oops, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Stand by, everybody. Can I scroll down here at all? Let's see. What if I dragged this window over here? There we go. And let's see if that's showing up the way it should. Do we see an article on the screen? Yeah. When MLB playoffs arrive, sidelined local broadcasters ache as they listen to the national call.
Yeah, there's our guys, Gary and Ron.
Yeah, I saw this was on I think the New York Times and or the Athletic, depending on where you see your content from the Athletic. The Athletic, by the way, has anyone do you watch it at all?
Watch the Athletic
or read their coverage at all?
Yeah, I mean sometimes.
Yeah, I subscribed before the Times bought it. Back in the day, and I highly recommend it. It was, there's been a couple attempts to do like a national, news kind of broadcast or a national sports kind of thing. That's just sports covered nationally with local. And there's been so many, beat reporters laid off from local things that it does make sense that if people are looking for jobs, well, let's get them in there and try to, use their expertise, for something. But I was a paid subscriber to the Athletic from like almost day one, and it's very well worth it. It's giving that kind of in-depth coverage of things that you used to get from a paper like the LA Times or the New York Times or whatever. But now, like the New York Times got rid of their entire sports section.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All out. It's all just the Athletic.
Outsourced to the Athletic, yeah.
Oh, they got rid of, I mean, it's part of the decline of local journalism. Not great, even in the the big media markets, where you think they should still be able to support, like a long,
we still have Newsday and New York Post back east. They love their crazy. Their sports.
There's Newsday, but is there a different newspaper on Long Island for Long Island Newsday? Are there two different Newsdays?
I don't think so.
I seem to I had a college classmate who ended up working for New York Newsday versus like Long Island Newsday or something.
Oh, well, there might be two different.
Yeah,
right? But
maybe.
I think there's just one paper. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Amy says she's had problems with the MLB app, as have we all. Local announcers are the best.
Clearly.
Joining us from Twitch. Hello, Soham. Hello. Thank you for joining. Did you like the game tonight? Are you a Mets fan or Dodgers fan? Please feel free to comment more. We would love to engage with you in this lovely format. Phillies announcers are funny. That's true. They got Johnny Kruk on there, and he does a nice job. Dodgers announcers are stiffs. Wait a minute. Sorry, but true. Joe is fine, but Oral, ugh. Now, I like Jessica Mendoza, and I like Steven, whatever his name is, who does most of the radio and fills in for Joe when Joe's doing Fox stuff. And who else do I like?
I mean, Oral's tough to listen to.
Oral can be.
He's like moral Oral. He's very vanilla.
Yeah. Let's see. Greetings from India. Welcome.
India, wow.
Welcome. Let's see. What do we say here? Greetings from India. Who's your channel about? Do you own a media company, Camp Alligator? I did and semi-do. That is the production company that I started. Here, I'm going to try to get my whole head in here to show that I actually know what I'm doing. Who knows? The Camp Alligator Productions was my production company for a long time. And has done a variety of work in a variety of fields, live streaming and other types of corporate videos and stuff like that. But this is just a baseball stream because I enjoy baseball. And my friend David here is a Mets fan. I'm a Dodgers fan, so it seemed like the right kind of cast for this kind of thing. So anyhow, thank you very much for that, for joining in from India. Dawn Roz is up there on Facebook. I believe she's in the greater Central Coast area now, formerly an LA resident and LA Dodger fan, longtime fan. Jessica talks nonstop. Well, she is, and the problem with that, Dawn finds it a distraction from the game. Look, I just enjoy, in terms of when you're dealing with a color commentator like that, do you want to just kind of hang out and chat with them? And I always feel like when it's Steven and Jessica, I do want to just hang out and talk about the game with them. And I feel like they are very chatty. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But I definitely enjoy their banter. Awesome. Keep it up with the good work. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it, India. Hope everything is going well there. And when we do our post-cricket World Cup show, we will definitely keep you in mind. And LA native, Dawn is, of course, LA native, Cal Poly attendee, and eventual Central Coast relocator. Here, let's keep it going. Dawn wants to focus on the game. She wants to focus on that's the thing that they don't offer that they really should, which is the button of no announcers, just natural sound from the game, which brings me to something else I wanted to talk to you about, Dave, which is the idea of what's the deal with this immersive sports venue down there in Inglewood at the SoFi Stadium? There's a IMAX, Circle Vision, giant screen, sports bar-ish kind of thing, restaurant, where you go, you sit, and you watch a game as though you are there.
I didn't know about this.
Have you heard about this?
Yeah,
we let me see if I can track that one down too. If anyone knows the name of it, remind me, because I can't remember. But it does, it is kind of that thing that I've been pushing for on VR for a long time, which is, why sell one Jack Nicholson seat when you can sell everybody the Jack Nicholson seat at a Lakers game by putting a pod of cameras and sensors right there and beaming it directly to your headset?
That's genius.
This needs to exist. And so this is a form of that, I think, where it's more of a movie theater style presentation. What's the name of it? Here, let me track it down. Well, but that'd be really fun, I think.
I think it would be great.
Sports. I don't know. How would you search for it? Inglewood. Immersive.
Is it IMAX? No, it's not.
California's COSM. COSM. COSM is the name of the place. We power immersive experiences around the world. So here's COSM Los Angeles. I'll try to get this up. But yeah, they have coming up the Broncos and Saints game on tomorrow night. Or no, that was tonight. Is that tonight? Was today the 17th? That was tonight. Sorry. Broncos and Saints game. Immersive. Where you could actually go. Oh, and they do have game 5 of the Mets and Dodgers tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Let's see. I can't imagine there are tickets available. But here, let me share this if I can, because who would not like to see what we're talking about? But yeah, I mean, I really do like that idea of trying to recreate the being there experience.
So this is not the regular TV feed. These are different cameras.
I think some of them. It looks like I've seen for college football. It's like you're in the end zone. Sitting right in the end zone, looking out onto the field. right? So there is a reserve seating starting at $193.
Oh my God.
And general admission 22, first come first serve for standing room areas in the dome, or find available sitting in the hall and the deck. So here are, here's kind of the setup. So you kind of see down on this little part towards where it says the dome. I think those are basically just like kind of theater style recliner chairs. And this dome kind of encircles you. And so you can kind of like be surrounded by the entire event in like a big screen style format, right?
Yeah.
And then in the hall, I think the purple part that we're seeing here wrapping around is also screen. And then you can see there's like tables and chairs and things and stuff. Let me see if I can track down like a video of this, but and at $200, it better be, pretty good, because I think I can get a ticket to the game for $200.
Yeah, you can. Like,
Right?
well, I mean, except you can't if the game's in New York, you can't. But
Right.
uh,
Yeah. What are the games going for?
well, I went, and what did I I was upper deck. I was front row upper deck. It was 182 a pop.
Wow, crazy. All right. So are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Are we hearing it?
No.
Good. So we can talk over it. But yeah, this is a venue where it's like you're at the event, right?
Yeah. I mean, that would be
So
so great for like a Premier League game, right? Or
right.
like you could never get to that location because you don't want to go here instead of going to Dodger Stadium.
No,
Especially
but
at those prices.
right, but exactly, for something overseas or something, that's,
Yeah, of course. I mean, what a great event. What a great place
Yeah.
to take in the game.
Right?
So I'm curious. That's quite a disparity between $22 and 200.
Yeah, 22 to stand, 200 if you want a seat, and probably like, service.
Right.
So
Well,
yes,
something
that
to
was
think
just kind
about.
of
That's cool.
a random video from YouTube, but this idea of immersive entertainment where you like put yourself into a situation where they can surround you with the game and stuff. I think that'd be a really fun experience.
I think your VR idea is even more lucrative.
It's coming. I know Apple Vision Pro is starting to produce material directly
right.
for
Yeah.
the Apple Vision Pro sports material specifically. They're doing
speaking of Apple TV Plus, they just greenlit a docu-series about the 2024 World Series.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, let's hope one of our teams will be in it. That's good. One of our teams will. I'm sorry. I can't get on board. All right, let's catch up with our chat here. Tickets to see the Phillies and Mets in London were cheaper than this immersive thing. Well, but what about the plane tickets? Exactly. First, if you're going to fly to London, you got to build that cost in. Who won the football game? I don't know. Who won the football game? Who was playing? I've already forgotten.
I just don't care about football.
Come on, you care a little bit.
Who was playing?
Well, let's go back and look. Broncos and Saints. All right, hold on. Who won the Broncos Saints game tonight? Easy way to find the answer to everything. Ask the little computer.
Were soundly defeated by the Broncos today. The final score was 33-10.
Well, there you go. The Saints were soundly defeated, 33-10. Go Broncos. All right. Well, listen, we got at least one more day of baseball in the National League. Maybe two.
The Mets have one more day of baseball.
Maybe three. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
The Dodgers are guaranteed more baseball.
Well, at minimum, we've got at least, if we're one game away, and that's always like the hardest, right? That last game, and New York, they're not going to give up.
Do you have your Cleveland Indians fan and or Yankee fan lined up for the next round?
I don't know. I'm taking applications. Okay. If you know anyone who is a fan of the Yankees,
I do have a Yankee fan. I have a couple
or the Guardians. The Guardians, David.
Did I say Indians? Oh, I'm so sorry.
We're old school. What can you do?
Yeah,
it happens. It's so funny. In my group chat tonight, people were referencing. There's rules in the group chat. It's a Substack based subscription. We talked about it the other night. Molly Knight, the baseball writer, and the chat rule is no cursing. No cursing. You can do that anywhere on the internet. Don't do it here, right? We don't need that. But then somebody put the Pedro Serrano quote from Major League about Jobu and how I do all this for you, Jobu, and F you, Jobu. I'll do it myself or whatever.
That needs a pass. That's
Exactly, because I looked up the clip just because some other person didn't get the reference, and I pasted the YouTube clip, and it's Yankees versus the Cleveland team, and it was like perfectly fit. I was like, oh my goodness.
Well, do you know that the Cleveland closer comes out to the Wild thing now?
Well, he I don't know if he's going to be coming out tomorrow because boy, he again got lit up. He's given up. Yeah, Class A, unbelievable. But he got touched up by the Tigers. They went ahead and won that series, but he got hit for a ninth inning homer there, and then he got hit for back to back from Judge and Giancarlo Stanton.
Relievers being like a guarantee. There's only a limited window for every closer. At some point, starts to. Yeah.
It's true. All right. Well, David, thank you as always. I wish the game was more exciting. We'd have a little more to talk about, but we covered a wide variety of topics.
I've learned a lot about how to consume sports on this stream, so thank you.
Yes. Well, good. Well, I hope it's been fun. We'll try it again tomorrow. The Dodgers are going to send Jack Flaherty out to the mound with a chance to go to the World Series, and the Mets will counter with
Kodai Senga or Peterson. I'm going to bet on David Peterson, but honestly, like at this point, just throw Kodai, throw him a bone. It's fine.
It is Johnny Allstaff tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody be ready to throw an inning.
Lindor better warm up.
Well, he may have to come in.
Stop.
They'll be calling Jesse Orozco just in case.
I'm sure Bartolo Colon is just chomping at the bit.
I can get in. I can give you one. I'm sure you could, man. I'm sure you could. He probably could.
Yeah.
He's kind of immortal in that way. But David, thank you again so much. We'll do it again, hopefully tomorrow. And hopefully it'll be a better game. We'll have more things to talk about.
Hopefully there'll be more than just tomorrow.
More than just tomorrow. I'm rooting for a good series. Yeah. I want the Dodgers to get challenged here. I don't want it to be easy. That's not good for baseball and not good for them either.
Not good for baseball.
All right. Give your family lots of love and get out of the closet. It's going to be okay.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Green. Good night.
Good night.
David Greenspan, America's favorite Mets fan, right there, joining us on the show tonight. And that's it for tonight. Not a lot to talk about in the Dodgers 10-2. I think it was 10-2 victory over the Mets. Kind of a blowout. Not super exciting, but as always, thank you for joining in and chatting about the game with us. We certainly do appreciate it. Let's see. Was there any other messages? Let's see. Not the hardest the way the Mets have been playing, says Amy. Well, that's true. And let's see. On the immersive thing, it's London, for God's sakes. Well, it's true. I look, the Dodgers and Padres started the season in Korea, right? And from the last round of these, Frank Warren, America's favorite Padres fan, also a huge Padres fan, and I really wanted to get him to, get on board with a little trip to Korea. Next year, it's Dodgers Cubs in Japan. I thought that might be interesting for the family. I've looked into some of these tour packages that the Dodger fan groups put together. That could be kind of cool to see Ohtani in Japan, right? No, family not interested. So what are you going to do? All right, that's it for tonight. Team, we appreciate everything. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow after Game 5, in which case we will either be preparing for a Game 6 or preparing for the World Series. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, keep it right there. Anytime you're ready.